philosophy family, we extend a hearty welcome to all the viewers, the students, teachers, and the, the person from other disciplines to be connected with philosophy family. You know, philosophy family has already conducted more than 200 webinars on different pertinent issues relating to philosophy and other disciplines. The eminent teachers across the country have been invited to philosophy family to speak on different issues for the greater cause of the students and teachers of philosophy. And they have shared their intellectual reflection with all of us. Today, we have invited two popular teachers of philosophy who have a lot of contribution for the cause of students, for the cause of philosophical reflection. They are Dr. Kalyani Sarangi, the Assistant Professor, Department of Philosophy, Ramandevi Women's University, in the first session. In the second session, we have with us Dr. K. Omnana Rao, the Assistant Professor, Department of Philosophy, Niranjan Government Women's College, Aska. And in the first session, Dr. Sarangi will speak on the theme Women, Dignity and Pandemic. In the second session, Dr. Rao will reflect upon humanity, the highest dignity. Both the speakers are very popular in philosophy family, and both of them have delivered their talks on different occasions in philosophy family, and they have benefited us with their intellectual acumen. Before inviting Dr. Kalyani Sarangi, Madam, in the first session, let me share in brief on her academic output. Dr. Kalyani has a teaching experience of more than 2 decades in different central government colleges and universities in our state. Dr. Kalyani did her MA, MPhil and PhD from Utkal University. She has participated in different national and international seminars. She has contributed a lot of academic papers to different national and international journals, and they have been popularly accepted by all the scholars. Dr. Kalyani is also a popular story writer. She has a lot of contribution. She has a lot of writings in Oriya stories, which have been published in different reputed Oriya magazines. Dr. Kalyani is a very excellent speaker. She has contributed a lot on the philosophy and culture of her country, of her state, in different TV channels. She is a very good organizer who has organized different state level and national level seminars, ICPR programs. I welcome Dr. Kalyani Madam in the first session. She has a couple of books, and in many seminars and webinars, we have witnessed that she has a deep concern on the pertinent issues of women. So today, she will speak on the theme Women, Dignity and Pandemic. Recently, she has joined in Women's University. On behalf of Philosophy family, we offer our congratulations to her. Today, Professor Pramod Kumar Das is with us. Today, he is the host and moderator of both the session, and he is the man behind all kinds of webinars in fellowship family. He has a commendable skill in coordinating and conducting 300 webinars in fellowship family. He has commitment, concern, and care for fellowship family, for which we have been able to organize about 300 webinars in fellowship family. With this, once again, I offer my welcome. I extend my welcome to all the viewers connected with fellowship family in today's academic program. And with this, I welcome Madam Sarangi to speak on the scheduled topic. Over to Madam Kalyani.
Namaskar to all of you. Thank you, Kailas bhai, for all your nice words. Am I audible to all of you? Because I
Yes,
have,
it's audible, clearly audible.
Thank you. Namaskar to all of you. Respected members of the organizing committee, philosophy family, esteemed senior members, and my dear friends. I am thankful to all of you for giving me this opportunity. The topic for today's presentation is women, dignity, and pandemic. The first glance of the topic seems to be awkward to all of us. In this presentation, I will try to make a genuine effort to show how these three concepts are interlinked, but I am always open to corrections. Okay, so let us begin our discussion with women. There are different descriptions of women. Women are described as the best creations of the God. God cannot be present everywhere. Therefore, he made women in the form of mother. In Hamlet, Shakespeare said, "Reality, thy name is woman." Some cultures and religions give high positions to women, whereas other religions and cultures do not do so. Hence, it is said that to understand the culture and civilization of a nation, we must see how the nation treats its women. Women in India generally pass through two phases. One is the phase of liberation or freedom, and another one is the phase or period of subjugation. At times, she is treated as the deity of the home, and at times, she has been suppressed and subjected to many forms of violence. Both Vedic age and epic age may be regarded as golden ages for women's freedom. We have the tradition of Rishikas, Brahmavadinis, women scholars who participated in public debates, which is popularly known as Tattvartha. Lopamudra composed two verses of the Rig Veda. You know, Lopamudra is the better half of the Agastya Rishi. She is treated as Sahagamini, Sahadharmini, Ardhanini, and so on, participating in all socio-religious economic activities. In the corridor of womanhood, she is either a daughter or a wife or a mother. Both the epics, Ramayana and the Mahabharata, revolve around two great daughters, Draupadi and Sita. Sita turned out to be an ideal example of a dutiful wife. She opted for hardships rather than the luxury of the royal life. Unfortunately, her silence is misunderstood as her ignorance by many feminist thinkers. Draupadi was a powerful, assertive woman who raised many legal and ethical questions after the heinous act of disrobing. She maintained her conjugal chastity, though she married to 5 brothers. Bhakti movement brought some new changes irrespective of the fact that status of women gets degenerated in the post-Vedic age. Mirabai's commitment, her Lord Krishna, is an ideal example of devotion. Her devotion is devotion par excellence. This phase of liberation of woman was not visible. Sorry, I forgot here to cite another phase of womanhood as a mother, and I always love to quote Madarasa Upakhyana, where Madarasa, while her 3 children, they were, while the children usually they cry, she used to teach them in a lullaby song, and the song goes like this. This is Suddhosi Buddhosi Niranjanosi Sansara Maya Parivarjitosi Sansara Swapnam Tyajamoho Nidra Madalasa Ulapam Ubacha Putram. So by that she taught to her 3 children that you can, the life is meant for something higher, where you are very much pure, because if we go by, if we look deep into ourselves, we see that there is a soul resides in all of us. That soul is Suddha, that soul is divine, that soul is spotless, that soul is pure. So that she taught to all her children through the lullaby song, only to pacify their children. So again, you can talk about after the Bhakti movement, we see that Mirabai was there. And here I want to again add one more thing, that is the devotion of Mirabai when, because she married to Rane, the king of Rajasthan, I think. So whenever Rane, because of many reasons, if Rane got angry with Mirabai, he used to beat her. And you can imagine the prints, the impressions of the beating is there in the Lord's body. That is something really very miraculous, you can say. So Mirabai's devotion, you can say it is a devotion par excellence. So this phase of liberation of women, no more it is visible for many reasons. Like you can say repeated, because of repeated foreign invasions, patriarchal social system, power, position, and many more reasons are there that I am not going to discuss, because I have 2 more points to discuss here. So even the West is also not free from this attitude of subjugation. 2 influential Greek philosophers whose differences impacted the way women are treated even today. You can say both of them, one is Plato and another one is Aristotle. So Plato was open to the potential equality of men and women. In Plato's Republic, there was particularly in book 5, there was a dialogue between Socrates and Glaucon. So there, Socrates said, if women are to have the same duties as men, they must have the same nurture and education. Even Plato in Republic said that women and men have the same nature in respect to the guardianship of the state. Only the difference is that one is weaker and the other one is stronger, because it is biological, it is natural, that you know. So a man and a woman who have a physician's mind have the same nature. That is Plato's submission. But Aristotle differs from Plato. Aristotle's book, History of Animals, where you can see all the negative words are used for only for women. Aristotle in Politics said that the relation of male to female, men to women, is by nature a relation of superior to inferior and ruler to ruled. So women are to be ruled. Women should be treated as inferior in comparison to the male counterpart. This is the view of Aristotle. They are born to be ruled by men in a constitutional sense. Again, I'm repeating, they are born to be ruled by men in a constitutional sense as citizens rule other citizens. Nature has designed the female body only for the job of procreation and caregivers. So she should be only there to provide cares and to procreate the progeny. So we can say feminism began from that period. Dichotomies, binaries like men are more rational and women are more emotional, men are helpful and women are revengeful, men are natural and women are cultural. All these binaries you can see only after Aristotle's interpretation or Aristotle's views about women. So it became, you can say, if we will go back to the history, we can say Plato laid the foundation stone for what we now call as feminism. When we talk about feminism, usually we have a misunderstanding, I can say, about feminism is that there are Indian feminism and there are Western feminism. But I want to differ and I say that women are women, whether they are in America or they are in India, even in the remote villages of India. So there is nothing called like Indian feminism, Western feminism. The issues for women may differ from one part to the other part, from one culture to the other culture, from one civilization to the other civilization, but women are women and they are subjugated, they are subjected to violence, they are objectified, that no country, no society, no civilization, no culture cannot be denied, because it is the fact, it is a reality, it is a social reality, I can say. So this attitude, this Aristotle's interpretation, and even he further moved and said that men are rational, even women are lesser, they do not have brain. Even he said that they are just like animals. So that's why the book is on history of animals, you see. So it became so deep rooted, so deep seated in our minds and in the society that women were deprived of their basic rights and faced challenges because of such gender discrimination. So gradually to the society, gender, the concept gender came into force. I must here make a distinction between gender and sex. Sex is natural, sex is biological, but gender is completely social construct. It is the, you can say, for the vested interest of a group of people. They just create this concept so that they can rule over others. So the issues, so there are many repercussions came because of this concept, introduction of the concept of gender. Here also I want to quote Simone de Beauvoir, who is an existential thinker, and I think she is the companion of Jean-Paul Sartre. So she said that women are not born as women, rather they are made women. So they are not born as women, rather they are made women in the society or by the society. So gradually that takes the shape of gender inequality, where we never, if a male person or if a boy cries before someone, we say that no, this is not expected from a male child, this is not expected from a boy, this is not the behavior of a boy. If similarly, if a girl rides a motorbike, we do not appreciate, and we say that no, why she is exhibiting all boys quality, so we do not appreciate, so we accordingly we divide some qualities, but science denies that, because each and every individual has both, the brain has both emotional side as well as the rational side, and it's not that in a woman only the emotional side will be exhibited and the man only the rational side will be exhibited. If this would have been the case, then there should not be should not have been Kalpana Chawla and many more scientists, mathematicians, and many you can say many intellectuals in different fields, I can say only. So gradually it takes the shape of gender inequality. So this issue of gender inequality allows men to be more privileged, to hold maximum rights and powers to execute their wishes, and in doing so, they feel entitled to exploit other genders, primarily women, for their own sake. So gradually, you can say exploitation of women began. Even, neither a child of 7 months nor a woman of 70 years not safe. Today, this is the scenario. There is Priyanka Reddy case, there is Nirbhaya case. If I will go on adding, the list will go on, but the names will not be completed, So there is a gradually tendency developed that in the name of gender inequality, there is objectification, sexual objectification, and there are many concepts are there. I will just hinted out the concept. If there is a need, I will go for more discussions. Sugar daddy, it is a new concept. The rich people, they are opting for young girls, and they will just take care of the financial aspect and many more things. So sugar daddy concept is there, sexual objectification is there, and body shaming is there. So many new concepts gradually added to the dictionary of gender inequality, you can say. So, and the exploitation becomes more and more visible. So here we can talk of, so there comes the very word dignity. So the dignity of men are ensured at the cost of the dignity of women. You can see even in our family, suppose the woman used to do many things that nobody can deny, but when it's about a financial decision, it is usually, or in almost all families, it is taken by the male member. So this is the, and you see the bright example I love to quote here. After 75 years, I think Utkal University, the premier university of Odisha, after 75 years, for the first time, we have a vice chancellor who happened to be a woman. For the first time in the history of Utkal University, So the dignity of men are always ensured at the cost of the dignity of women. Therefore, there is a need to relook to the concept of dignity, which must ascertain gender equality. So gender equality and human dignity, they are interlinked or they are interconnected. What do we mean by dignity? That is the first glance of understanding that dignity means, you can say, self-respect, you can say self-esteem, even you can say social respect, because in today's time we may be economically very, very rich. We may be technically very, very rich. We have 3G phone, 4G phone, we have Wi-Fi connections all through. So technically we are much and much richer. And even financially we may be rich, but socially we are very, very poor, I tell you. So you can say basic how we understand you can say the very concept of dignity. So the concept dignity is to be understood through basic rights, liberties, and recognitions. So we can use these basic rights, recognitions, liberties as the parameters. Everybody, whether he or she, whether men or women, has a right to live a dignified life. She must have the freedom to choose her profession. She must have the freedom to choose her career. Her social security and social respect should be ensured. She should never be used as a means for some other end. Treat her as an end in itself, never as a means. The foundation of human dignity would be that men and women and other genders are human beings first. So the first argument, line of argument could be in this way, that whether a man or a woman or even a transgender, they should be treated as human beings first. Whatever their roles and responsibilities are in the society, they must be treated like human beings. Usually, you see, if a girl you will see a girl or a woman in the dead of the night, we do not appreciate. Even we do not try to understand what is the urgency before her. We just look at her in a very negative, in a very, you can say, in a very negative way. The same thing also happened with the transgenders. I'm adding here because this is the thing, and recently we just celebrated International Transgender Day. So even the same thing is happening with the other genders equally also. So they should be allowed to lead a good quality life. That is the most important and most vital thing, which again and again I want to highlight. Everybody has a right to lead a dignified life. Similarly, everybody should be allowed to lead a good and a qualitative life. And for that only, we can say that if she has the right to live a dignified life, who is going to ensure it? How she will lead a quality life? How she will lead a good life? Who is going to ensure it? Can you say that it is the state, it is the duty? If she has a right, right and duties, they are correlatives, they are interlinked. If the woman has a right, definitely there is someone else. You can say the men, they must have the duty to ensure their rights. No, I want to differ. I highlight that the woman herself, she herself will ensure her own good life. Here, I want to quote Manusmriti, where it is said that Arakhita Gruhe Ruddha Purusehi Aptakari Bhihi Atmanam Atmana Ja Tu Rakhehu Ta Surakhita. Even you are inside the four walls, you are not safe unless and until you will not protect yourself. Nobody is going to protect you. You have to protect yourself. Every girl, every woman must have her own line of protection. Where to go, where not to go, when to go, and when not to go, to whom you will approach, to whom you will not approach. Nobody will detect you because every woman, every girl possesses another thing that is, in Amir Khan's show, it many times it is discussed that there must be you must able to each girl is endowed with this quality that they can differentiate between good look and bad look, between good touch and bad touch. So because they are endowed with this, so they must have to draw their own safety lines. Nobody is going to give you protection. You yourself has to create your own protection. Similarly, you have to ensure your good life. So with this much, let us proceed to the last component of today's presentation, that is pandemic. We all are very much aware of it, and it is the statistics. Even in many webinar programs I also had that it is not only pandemic.
Hey, Dr. Kalyani, what happened? Dr. Kalyani, what happened? You are not audible, perhaps.
This pandemic, she is not only externally locked, there is lockdown, so she is not only externally locked, but also internally locked. Just take an example. There is a provision from work from home. You see, suppose both husband and wife are working. So husband will sit, but the lady who is in doing two jobs, I mean as caregivers, as family makers, and at the same time homemakers, as well as the as a working woman, she has to become dasabhuja, you can say. She is doing 2 days work at one day. Husband will comfortably sit down and he will maintain all the time, but the woman has to struggle the entire day to satiate the stomach of the entire family, as well as to fulfill the demand that is assigned to her by the employer. So she has to make a balance only by only by becoming a subtle curve between the one code to another code. So this is the you can say precarious situation that we faced, and really it is difficult for not only for the working women, but almost for all women, you can say. The statistics, recent statistics that tells us that 1 in every 4 women lost their jobs during this pandemic. 1 in every 4 women, they lost their jobs. The plight of the wives of the migrated labor class is beyond descriptions. Why? Because the bright example is, I can say, Odisha, and during the pandemic period, government made some provision so that they can re-migrate to their places for their safety and security. So while they have migrated to their working areas, the women, they remained in their village areas, and they have some form of you can say independence, some form of autonomy, and you can say some form of economic management they were enjoying. And because of the re-migration of the labor class to their villages, their situation worsened simply. So a global study, a recent global study that says that 1 in every 3 women experienced physical or sexual violence. You will be surprised to know by whom she is subjected to physical violence. Only by her intimate partner. Very, very surprising thing, and very, very, you can say, sorry state of affair. Her reproductive health, her mental health, even her physical health is never taken care. She is not allowed, or a woman is not allowed. How many children she is going to deliver? Even whatever may happen to her, she has to give a broad smile by just you can consuming all her sickness. So her mental health, neither her physical health nor her reproductive health is never taken care. So these are all at stake. Even the statistics also shows that the childbirth rate is higher during the pandemic period. So from, you can say, from health to economy, from security to social protection, she is affected in all spheres of her life. So here I will just come to my conclusion. If this is the situation, if this is the plight of each and every woman, she is mentally abused, she is physically exhausted, and she is sexually harassed in one workplaces. There are many rules, many laws, many things are there. Even property rights is also there. But the property rights, where it is declared that every girl is as equally, the property will be equally shared with the male siblings. But the very unfortunate part is that even you see, there is not a gender neutral toilet you will not going to see in the Supreme Court also. This is a very sorry state of affair, I'm telling you. So when we talk about, even if the Supreme Court, where we are discussing about, where verdicts are given one after another, but you will never find out gender neutral things, gender inequality you still find out there. Similarly, our literature is full of gender inequality. You will see, for a male there is one type of description, for a female there is another type of description. So our literature, our language, it should not be gender biased, it should be gender neutral. So I can conclude by saying that, as we have a malady, and as you know, every malady presupposes a remedy. Every problem has a solution. So this problem of women and about her dignity is also not exception. I mean, it has no solution, we cannot say so. It may be lingering, it may be it may be moving in a slow pace, the solution, but the solution is it is within our reach, it is in our hand only. As we always say, charity begins at home. Similarly, this attitude that we'll talk about gender equality, we'll practice gender equality, we'll treat both male and female, both son and daughter equally, and equality, it should begin from our home, from our mindset. So because everything has its origin in our mindset. So it is the time to reset our mindset again. So definitely we will have the butterfly effect, and butterfly, that because of that butterfly effect, we should treat a human being only as a human being, not by its sex, not by its gender. So we should treat we should equally treat, as I treat my daughter, Similarly, I will treat my daughter-in-law. If this will be in practice, definitely no more discussions will be gender inequality. No more there will be discussions about dignity of women is needed. So we must take a place today that we will treat all as human beings only, never by their sex, never by their gender. Thank you. Thank you all for your patience here. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Kalyani, for beautifully reflecting on the concepts women and dignity and pandemic. And you have very beautifully stated the status of women in the epic period, Vedic period, ancient period, and the present time. And you have also reflected upon the Aristotle's and Platonic concept on the position of women in our society. You have made a very beautiful distinction between the gender and sex, um, and giving the priority of gender equality in the present time. And you have touched, you have made a connectivity between the dignity of women in the pandemic times, and at last you made a challenge, you made a call uh, to transform from malady to remedy. You said every malady leads to a remedy, and when we are going to have the dignity on women, it depends upon our mindset. And I don't want to reflect upon all things that you have made in your talk. Now, your paper is open for discussion. May I request our host and moderator, Professor Pramod Madas, to carry on the interactive session. Over to Pramod Das.
Namaskar, namaskar. I really enjoyed this talk, madam. This was wonderful. Wonderful presentation, very strong conviction. So, I really enjoyed. Madam spoke from three perspectives, as far as I understand. The metaphysical perspective, social perspective, and ethical perspective. From these three perspectives, very beautifully, Madam discussed this topic. Metaphysically, she is saying that we should not have any discrimination because we are one. The biological difference is only appearance, that is not the real intellectual understanding. So we have to realize the unity in all beings. So there is no discrimination at all. And that is the highest knowledge. Sankhya system says that the knowledge of the discrimination between Purusha and Prakriti, that we should have a discriminative awareness. And we have to go beyond that. So this metaphysical understanding is very much required. There is all types of crisis regarding gender and sex only because of lack of this understanding. So everybody should be aware of the totality, the universality. If we shall compare human beings with animals, I shall say better animals love their counter sex partners very innocently, very honestly, very naturally. Because human beings are rational and they can think and interpret, so they are interpreting in such a way that we are discussing about feminism today. It is a human possibility to have any type of crisis regarding feminism or regarding gender and sex. It is not a crisis for animals. So we claim that we are better animals, we have rationality, but animals are better than us in their character. That means because we understand, therefore we commit mistake. So ignorance is a blessing. We should not be so much rational that we shall go against the natural flow. That is the great message of this talk, which the speaker highlighted throughout her speech again and again. Then she discussed about the social perspective, the social order, the society of a particular geographical area, that is determined by the understanding that I discussed. The way you understand the nature, the feminism, all these things, the way you understand, that will become your society. Therefore, societies are many, societies are different. Therefore, Indian society is different from American society. Therefore, the society of this geographical area is different from that geographical area. This difference is natural and it will be there. So, socially, when we are using our intellect, that affects our result. We are the creator of our society. We create our society and we live in that society. So we can create a good society having proper understanding, and we can create a bad society by incorrect understanding. So any crisis regarding gender and sex in society, that is only due to of the lack of understanding. So in society also, women are tortured. Psychologically they are tortured. And this is a human possibility. This torture is not there in animals. But we claim that we are rational. There is no jail for animals. There is no police station for animals. There is no court for animals. But we love animals because they are so systematic, they are so orderly. So the great message, that is the great message. And the last point, that was ethical. Very beautifully Madam said that suppose casually we are committing such a mistake, casually. Even if there is a crisis like a pandemic, in a bad situation, in a bad moment, everybody should live together, everybody should love all each other. In that pandemic situation also, women are tortured. So the ethics is that should not be. One should have a right understanding. That right understanding will be reflected in social living, and a good social living is ethical. Is ethical. Thank you, madam. I consumed some moments. I became emotional, and I'm sorry for it. I shall request others, if anybody who is interested, to give their observation.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Das. Well, nicely. I will first of all thank Kalyani Madam for her nice talk, and her presentation reflects a point that women has problems from the womb to the tomb. Okay, and it's a problem that is not restricted to a particular geographical area. It is universal. And the second part, she says that men are privileged and women are underprivileged. So something has to be done to give away this gender discrimination. If I remember a quote by William Golding, who said that women are fools. Well, it is in my language. Women are fools in claiming equal status with men when they are superior to men. So these are the words by Golding, and these are my words which reflect Golding's message. Women are superior, but they are claiming equal status with men. So he said, if you give a sperm to a woman, she will give you a child. If you give her a house, she will give you a home. Okay, if you give her groceries, she will prepare a meal for you. If you put a bit of smile on your face, she will give her heart. So you see the magnanimity in woman. Whatever you give, you get from women in greater heights. So there is a need of this attitudinal change in women, and nobody is there to change that attitude unless and until women themselves come up with an attitude of a feeling of not of a unprivileged nature, rather a feeling of superiority. They have to carry that feeling. It's time now. Okay, lot of subjugation has already been done. Now you see the points that Golding has pointed out. So that attitude of reflecting her true nature, her magnanimity, whatever you give, she multiplies. So that is the real gift that a woman can have. And woman should carry that feeling. And that feeling should start from the level of individual homes. Well, I have written a paper on women issues, and the title is Home Theory of Women Empowerment, wherein I have suggested if at all women are to be strengthened, they are to be strengthened at the level of homes. It is because at the level of homes, women are weakened. Right from individual homes, the women are weakened vis-a-vis the boys that who grow along with the girl child. They are discriminated from the level of homes. So that should be given up. And the girl has to make to realize that she is much more superior. So that feeling we have to give. And that should start from the level of homes. If we do it, if we are successful, well, I think that would be a great day for women all around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This I wanted to convey. Thank you, madam.
Sir, namaskar. Namaskar. Madam, namaskar. Namaskar to all. I have been very much impressed by Madam Paul in her presentation. Actually, she has spoken all those things, all those lives of women, starting from that Vedic stage to till now. And I want to add one thing that as we are dealing with children, their education during pandemic period, so many child marriages, very heinous act of human being that has also occurred, and that also have not been noticed, very rarely noticed due to some good thinking or very educated mind people they have informed. Otherwise, so many girls have been married. In case of those who don't have also will, against their will, they have been forced to marry, and somehow in some cases we have also rescued them to different persons, government and non-government persons, some committed persons of society. I was also very emotional during Madam's talk, and she has also given the gender space and equal that those concepts. Due to unequal concepts during 70s, the gender concept have been developed, and some sociologists they have coined that name gender due to social inequality prevailing in the society, and only that thing. Sir, sir. Sir, thank you. I have learned so many things. Sir.
सर मैडम को क्वेश्चन कौन थिला मो एक्चुअली बुझी परलेनी शी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट चाइल्ड मैरिज आई थिंक ओके 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 child marriage, yes, the present statistics also shows that there is increase in child marriage. But you see, first of all, any age maybe, but we must train our children. Particularly, we are talking about child marriage. We must train our children not to be physically courageous, but to be mentally courageous and morally courageous. They must, if they will be, they develop the tendency of moral courage, then definitely they can say no to the practice. This will be my submission only. Sir, you can add if you wish. Yes. Yes. Sir. 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 Definitely. That's okay.
Okay, 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 Professor Das. Okay, Professor Das. Okay, okay. Thanks, Kalyani, of the state, right? And you have a deep concern for women. Do you think that the dignity of women be uplifted by opening a separate university like Women University in our state? What is your stand on it?
Definitely, I say yes. Why? Because we are the women are not yet in par with the male counterpart. Because years together, or you can say centuries together, women were subjugated. Because of many reasons, I cannot, because there are many reasons that I cannot tell you, that I feel hesitant to share with you, taking into account your body, taking into account even in a program how you answer, with whom you are, who is accompanying you, everything is noticed. But just ask a lady whether she is marking all these things or not. Just ask. The answer definitely will be no. So, what she is wearing, how she is walking, how she is behaving, how she is sitting, how she is eating, how she is interacting, everything. And it is also placed before others with some masala. So that is the thing, that is the reason you can say. And again, the parents still, because of our patriarchy social system, that is even with the mindset of the mothers, that is even with the mindset of the fathers. So parents become hesitant to allow to pursue her study in a co-ed college. So that is also there. So to eliminate the entire process, to talk, not to talk, I think talking, debating, discussing is enough. Now we must come into practice to do practice in our real life situations. It is taking time. So to take the time, it is just a made intermediate arrangement, you can say that. So I will support the opening of this university in Odisha for the first time, and it is required. In my opinion, it is time. That's reservation.
Madam, can I add one thing to it? Hello? Dr. Kalyani madam, can I add add one thing to it regarding women university. Actually, this is to address the equity concept. To reach equality, first of all, we have to be equitable, like reservation that you have told, madam. So, for reaching that equality, men, women are equal in thinking, practice, everything. We have to bring those girls into that point, so that there should not be any barrier for reaching the higher. To maintain that equality, we have to maintain equity first. First of all, equity, then equality. Thank you very much.
ମାନେ ଉଚ୍ଚାରେ ଅଛି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏତିକି ନିଚାରେ ଅଛି ଆମେ କଣ
Yes, madam.
ସମାନଙ୍କୁ ଆସିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଏଇଠି କିଛି କରିଦଉଛେ
ଆଜ୍ଞା ଆଜ୍ଞା
ଇକ୍ୱାଲିଟି
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ୍ସ
thank you madam. Thank you madam.
हाँ मैडम कल्याणी मैडम
सर
बहुत थैंक यू।
सर
बहुत ही अच्छी हुई लेक्चर। मैं अजीत कुमार ठाकुर, मुंगेर यूनिवर्सिटी ह्यूमैनिटीज डीन।
सर
फ्रॉम बिहार।
सर
The Pramod sir, carry on.
sir over,
Okay, Pramod sir, carry on.
over to you sir. Sir.
Okay, thanks.